Marlon Vera and Cory Sandhagen just had a fantastic fight. And what is next for both of these guys? Because it's a little bit tricky in the bantamweight division with all the top contenders going towards Aljamain Sterling. And Aljamain Sterling is still kind of thinking about maybe leaving the division. So who knows what's going to happen with that. Regardless, I'm going to give my thoughts on what should be next for both Cory Sandhagen and Marlon Vera. We're going to talk about all that in just a second. I do want to say before we get into it, hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about Cheeto and Sandhagen. So let's start off with Cory Sandhagen. Fantastic performance. Just shut down Marlon Vera completely. It's a fight that I was expecting to happen. He looked really good doing it. And he looked good with his wrestling. He looked good with his stand-up. Absolutely everywhere. What could be next for him? Obviously, he was talking about wanting a title shot, but he was a really, really respectful guy and saying I can't gun for it before Merab Dvalishvili. But I don't know if I really love the fight with Merab, especially like, I don't know what it is. I feel like I really want to see him fight Sean O'Malley, but I don't. Marlon Vera obviously would be the #1 contender. If you beat Marlon Vera, you get a winner of Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo, which is probably going to be Aljamain Sterling. He wants that rematch, and that's the fast-track way to do it. But just imagine the matchup between Sean O'Malley and Cory Sandhagen. Sean O'Malley, I understand, he's sitting out waiting because he already has a title fight like locked, and Dana White wants him to get that title fight, especially against one of those two fighters because it's a reasonable matchup for Sean O'Malley. But still, just imagine the fun. Cory Sandhagen, Sean O'Malley, the stand-up battle that would take place. Cory Sandhagen could like mix in some wrestling, but then again, we saw with Sean O'Malley, he has very good defensive wrestling. So that fight to me screams happiness and excitement. But at the end of the day, I do think that Cory Sandhagen should fight Merab, which is still a really fun fight. But at the end of the day, I would have liked to see Sean O'Malley more, but it makes sense for Merab versus Cory to have a fight together. Now, what's next for Marlon Vera? This one's a little bit more tricky because initially, when I first thought, long story short, I'm gonna pair him up with Peter Yan. So initially, when Peter Yan lost his last fight against Merab, I was thinking, okay, what a perfect time to make a matchup that I've wanted to see for a long time: Yan versus Dominick Cruz. I think that would be a fantastic, fun matchup and something that Dominick Cruz would be interested in because Dominick Cruz is being very picky with his fights. I can see him wanting this fight against Yan, but Yan would absolutely tear him apart. Now we're getting rumors that Dominick Cruz versus Cody Garbrandt is happening, and oh my god, I love that fight so much more. I would love to see the trash talk between those two. Right? It's gonna be fun, and I can actually see Dominick Cruz pulling away with that fight. I think he'll win that time around. Anyways, not what we're talking about. Initially, I wanted Yan to fight Cruz. That would have been a fantastic matchup. It makes sense for the division too. But now I see a better matchup for Yan with Marlon Vera, both coming off of rough losses, and it makes sense they're both at the top of the division. I love this fight. And imagine the fun that would take place with Petr Yan versus Marlon Vera. Oh my god, I would be so excited for that fight. And I'm not just saying that because I want to see it. It makes so much sense for the division. I absolutely love these two paired up together. Makes sense for the division. I understand that both these fights that I put together, both Sandhagen versus Merab and Petr Yan versus Cheeto, it makes sense for the division. You guys probably could have seen it coming, but still, ultimately, that's where I think they should be. Let me know what you think down below about all of these matchups. I would love to know what you think if you would pair them up with somebody else in the division. Let me know. Like I said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. On the screen right now, we have two fantastic MMA videos if you want to check out more of this channel. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you in the next video. Take care.